your silence, time will never turn. I'll never quit you while love's on hold. It's like that wine we're growing old, like a lamb to the slaughter at the end of the night. You led me to the water, all I tasted was the wine. Like a lamb to the slaughter at the end of the night. You led me to the water, all I tasted was the wine.
That's a track called The Wine by Blacktop De Luxe, and I'm joined now on the phone by Tim Chappell from the band Blacktop De Luxe. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening, pleasure to be here.
How are you doing, mate?
I'm alright, thank you. Greetings from Cornwall.
Yeah, how's the weather in Cornwall? Is it good as the Isle of Wight?
It's been really nice down here, yeah. We have our own sort of microclimate down here, I think.
Yes, so you're, of course, I'm just reading through the notes I picked up, and you're the drummer of the band.
Bassist.
Bassist, are you? So I was... Oh, yeah, sorry, reading the wrong bit. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
So I believe you got an album coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yep, album's out May 14th. It's called Turn Up, Be Nice, Play Hard. I hope everyone likes the title. It's 11 originals, and we've worked pretty hard putting it together. Yeah.
Right. What are your musical influences?
Well, I mean, the band itself is a bit of a hodgepodge of musical influences, but we all come from that sort of blues, heavy blues rock thing. I think the first albums I ever bought, it was a Sabbath album, and it was a 10 Years After album. I think. And that's the way it all started for me. And I sort of discovered the blues working backwards from people like 10 Years After, the Groundhogs, bands like that, and then going back to the old original stuff, as well as keeping a sort of healthy interest in sort of heavy rock at the same time.
There's certainly some pretty good stuff there. I'm just glancing at this where I printed off. I see that you got Rory Gallagher down as one of your influences of the band.
Yeah, for me certainly, and for the rest of them absolutely. I thought Rory Gallagher was just the most amazing guitar player, and as a bassist, I was really impressed by Jerry McAvoy. Jerry McAvoy was such a driving bassist, just holding it all together. A great player.
Certainly was. I had the pleasure of seeing Rory Gallagher a couple of times in the 80s, and we had Tom Kilner on the show about a month, 6 weeks ago or so, and that was one of his influences as well. So certainly he's good person, a good guitarist, and a good band to strive to do it. Copy. I would say, I didn't mean copy. You know what I mean, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he's a huge influence. I mean, if you think about guitar players like Slash from the heavy metal side, then you've got Johnny Marr from the Smiths. They all cite Rory Gallagher as being a huge influence, and he most certainly was.
Right. So your best bass player, there's Paul, the one you just mentioned, Paul Kossoff is one of your influences.
Oh, Kossoff, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Free were a fantastic band, weren't they? And Kossoff went on to have a sort of ill-fated solo career after he left Free. But I mean, some of the stuff that he made in his short time was just great. Kossoff wasn't a hugely technical guitarist. He wasn't fast. He wasn't flashy, but he could put more into. I always thought he could put more into a couple of notes than some people could put into 100. You know.
Right, I've got a throwaway question for you now that I've been put into all guests I'm having on the show. It was being put with one of the listeners. If you could go back any point in time and see anyone live on stage, anywhere, anytime, who would you like to see?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I'd probably go back to some of the early gigs that Rory Gallagher did. Maybe Taste, because I never saw Taste. Obviously, that was his band before he went solo. And maybe the Hendrix Experience, I guess, because obviously I just wasn't around to get to that at the time.
I was too young for Taste.
Yeah, well, you and me both. I mean, by the time I got old enough to get to gigs, both Taste and the Experience were both gone, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I got a CD that was passed on to me, a Taste live at the Isle of Wight Festival.
Yes, fantastic.
And I had played a track from that on here before, and I've been tempting to put out the entire album as a special part of a special when the Isle of Wight Festival's on. Been very tempted to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great album, and there is allegedly a video of that whole Isle of Wight gig. I think there's only like one track kicking around at the moment on the internet, but someone is sat on the whole concert, so I hope that in the next few years it actually comes out on DVD.
That'd be great. I believe you've got a gig coming up tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah, we're travelling all the way from Cornwall. We're going up to Leicester. It's a blues festival at the Musician in Leicester. It's a great pub. We were talking about Rory Gallagher. I know that Jerry McAvoy's Band of Friends have played there quite recently, and so we'll be in good company up there. It's a great venue. I'm really looking forward to it.
So he's still going, Jerry McAvoy?
Yeah, Jerry is playing with the drummer from the Rory Gallagher band, and he has a new guitar player who sounds very much like Rory, and they're redoing a lot of the old tracks. That's
great. So when your album comes out in a couple of weeks, how can we get hold of it?
Right. Well, I mean, personally, I shall send you a copy so you can play it, but the album will be available across the board, so you'll be able to order it from the website from May 14th. That's blacktopdeluxe.com, and the album will be on Amazon, iTunes, the whole shebang. So it'll be available for everyone to get to.
Well, that's great. I've got one more track of yours coming up in a minute. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, and it's always good to speak to new and up-and-coming bands. I discovered a lot of quality blues lately. I never realised there were so many good blues bands on the scene in the UK at the moment. It's just so good.
There's a lot of competition, so we've got to work quite hard to get our heads above the water, I think.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you got a gig coming down this way, I'll try and be nice to get over to see you if you're playing in the Hampshire area, Portsmouth, Southampton, or wherever.
I mean, when the album comes out, we're going to try and put a tour together. So I'll stay in touch and let you guys know.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks for speaking to us.
No problem. I'm pleased you like the tracks.
Yeah, I loved it.
And thanks very much for playing it.
It's always an honour to play good new tracks. What I always try to do on this show, one of the things that always annoyed me when I was younger was there is so much music that the so-called radio professionals just would not play for one reason or another. So I seek out bands that I like, that I think are worth playing, and I play the obscure. If it's any good, I'll whack it on. So I'm in total control of the playlist. So that's why it's really nice to find bands like yours and give you a bit of coverage and hopefully generate a few more fans for you.
Well, fantastic, and thank you very much for having us on. I really appreciate it.
And I believe you've got a Facebook page, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you Google us, Blacktop De Luxe, you'll get the link to the Facebook page. There's also a load of stuff on YouTube. So if anybody wants to check the band out, there's a load of tracks and some live videos of us doing our stuff. So if you like the tracks that you're playing tonight, look us up and stay in touch. We'd really appreciate it.
That's great. Here's Take Us Out. Then your second track of yours, I Got Money in My Pocket. Thanks for speaking to us.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Take care.
Money in my pocket, angels to kiss, spend before I got it, don't get much better than this, waiting on the weekend, with a 50-watt MV, stand beside a best friend, a cherry red SG, hearing bottle rocket, Marshall set to run, playing in the pocket, yeah, I'm hitting on the one, waiting on the weekend, with a 50-watt MV, stand beside a best friend, a cherry red SG. Stand beside a best friend, a cherry red SG.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. I did. That track was called Money in My Pocket. Thanks to Tim for speaking to us. If you like that, be sure to check out their Facebook page, Blacktop De Luxe.